Mr. DJ.
Hey, check this out. We got a great show coming your way.
From the ECSI Sports Studios, it's the Midday Market Report with Jeff Dawson.
ECSI fans, do you want to revolutionize your ECSI fans, do you want to revolutionize your sports investing habits? Allow me to tell you about WagerWire. WagerWire is an app that helps you become a superior bettor by allowing you to sync all of your sports books and track all of your bets in one place. See your current action, your betting history, and stats. You can also sign up for sportsbooks and collect bonus offers. Follow them at WagerWire on X, as they're the best account on the platform. Head to the App Store or Play Store now and search WagerWire to download the app.
Good afternoon, sports fans from all around the globe. I am the co-host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and this is your Midday Market Report for Tuesday, November 28, 2023. Our weekly trip across the border to good friend and colleague, Andrew McInnis, as we get you caught up in the NHL and whatever else is on our desks. Shout out to the two gentlemen behind the glass, of course, Mr. Evan Lewis and Joseph Shea. Shout out to our proud new sponsor and partnership with WagerWire. If you have not downloaded the app, please go to Google Play or wherever you download the app. Download it, it's free. Get yourself accustomed to tracking your bets, ROI. Sync your bets into the sports books down below that are available in your state at this point of time. And if you're looking for a quick side hustle or some flash cash to decorate the tree and stuff the stockings, send a email to affiliates at wagerwire.com. Tell them JD from ECSI sent you. Zach, Travis, and the rest of that team and community will take good care of you. Without further ado, in an abbreviated mid-market report today, all on me, of course. I know we'll be back on Thursday on his side, but listen, 20 minutes with Andrew is better than no minutes. So without further ado, let's bring him in, the one and only Mr. Andrew McInnis.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon, Andrew. How are you?
Doing very well. Excited for all the games today. We got a good batch of early games and late games, and I feel like I've been doing a lot better on these big days. You know, when you've got so many games to choose from. I know you're a low volume guy, and I think you get this huge batch of games. All you got to do is find one winner. So hopefully we can give out some winners today for the viewers and talk about maybe some buy and sell teams right now, Jeff, because a team like the Vegas Golden Knights, man, they are struggling to score.
Well, that's what I did last night. It was a short board, and I liked the Avalanche first period. I thought the Florida team total was the lean. They were both on the desk, of course. Instead, I dive into the teeth, and I take the Rangers first period, and I take their team total. Of course, the Sabres score 1 in the first, and then this Luko Tinen or whatever he was, turned out to be a Vezina winner last night. I mean, he was standing on his head, and Rangers get punked at home. I know we have a lot to talk about, but the breaking news of Corey Perry being let go, for people that don't follow hockey as much, and listen, I don't hit the clickbait. Rumor has it Mr. Perry had a little something with someone's mom. Can you elaborate what the hell was going on over there?
Yeah, I'm not buying that at all. I think it's awful. It's horrible to see that was something that was leaked, a rumor. At least, I don't even know the guy, but I feel bad for Bedard because he's heard about it. I mean, it's impossible to not. I feel like anyway. But I will say this. there's a lot of stuff that goes on in NHL dressing rooms, a lot of stuff that, that gets behind the scenes, whether it's smack talk between players, whether it's hazing with the rookies, whether it's players out drinking or different things on the road. Something pretty bad must have happened for them to terminate a contract. Like, you don't see that very often in the world of hockey. Even these days and how things have changed, something has happened. And if it was alcohol abuse or something like that, they'd put him in the player assist program, right? So something's going on. And I saw one tweet, if we're going off all the rumors, because we don't really have anything concrete yet, right? I saw one tweet that it was something to do with like an employee in Chicago. So, I mean, there's so many different things to look at it, but whatever it might be, this just gives the league more reasons to just not like this Blackhawks team. I mean, all the stuff that went on with the Blackhawks with their scandal that came out over the last few years. There's a new one going on right now. And then you got this going on, and people like myself that were complaining they didn't even deserve the number 1 overall pick, and now Bedard's got to deal with all this stuff, and it's crazy. It's absolutely bonkers, but no matter what it is, keeping it to do with hockey, what a horrible way for Corey Perry to end his career. I was talking to a few people, and they said, well, there's probably no chance that a team picks him up, right? Nobody knows what happened yet. Why would they pick him up? I mean, the guy, even though he's kind of a rat on the ice, he's like that guy that nobody wants to play against, Jeff. He's done everything. He's won at every single. He's a part of the Triple Crown Club or whatever, the Triple Gold Club. He won at the World Championships. He won at the World Junior level, and he won an Olympic gold medal. He also won a Stanley Cup. I mean, this guy has won everything, and now this is how he's going to end his career. It's unbelievable. It is unbelievable, and it's a shame that on the day that Patrick Kane signs with the Red Wings, this is taking over the spotlight and not the Patrick Kane news.
And again, I didn't say what the tweets and the rumors. They're just rumors at this point. But
right.
On social media or whatever, the rumor is that Corey Perry, let's just say, had a little affair with Connor Bedard's mom. Okay, and the fact of the matter is the rumor back in the day was the Zach Wilson and the same thing going on. But Connor Bedard, the new shiny tour, generational talent. Chicago immediately steps in. Whatever, as you said, is the truth of the matter. Didn't even let this. Where there's smoke, there's fire, but didn't even get to the bottom of it unless they already know it. And thanks for playing and gone. Almost similar to the Bruins here with Milan Lucic and had a domestic abuse charge. And word on the street is came home polluted, got into a shoving match, stranglehold. Cops came in, and the judge made it clear to stay away and no booze until this thing is resolved. Still on the Bruins, but speculation is he'll never lace him up again for the Bruins. If it was alcohol related, as you said, they can bring him into programs. But the difference between the Blackhawks saying, Corey, adios, and the Bruins still holding on, you can see maybe the severity of actually what transpired.
Right. Well, and the big difference is, like you said, is that we know what happened. I mean, we don't know exactly what happened when Lucic walked into his house, but we know that there was the cops called and it was a domestic violence dispute, right? With this, and the thing is, people aren't realizing this has been going on for like over a week now. Last week, Corey Perry not at practice. Nobody would talk about it. Not at practice. Not joining the team on the road. And then I saw all these pictures on Twitter of fans saying, no, he's still there. And they posted pictures of like meeting him on the street, like smiling with Corey Perry and getting pictures with him as a fan. So it is really interesting. But you have to look at this Blackhawks team and wonder how many players are going to even be on their roster that was on their team this year And then you look at Nick Foligno and Corey Perry, two players that were brought in to be leaders on that team. One guy's gone. One guy's doing his job, having Bedard over for dinners and, he's playing mini sticks with his kids. But other than that, you've got a couple other young guys. I've never seen a team, Jeff, have so many players on expiring contracts. It's unbelievable. The San Jose Sharks, maybe, but they're just a whole different story. I mean, when you've got a player, it kind of reminds me of the Edmonton Oilers when they drafted Taylor Hall. Like between the time when Taylor Hall got drafted by the Oilers to when he got traded away, I think there might have been like 2 or 3 players on that team that were on when he first got drafted. Look at Ryan Nugent-Hopkins for the Oilers. He's the longest tenured Oiler right now. So I worry about Bedard from a hockey perspective. How does he gain chemistry with anybody on his team if he knows that half of them are going to be gone somewhere else the next year?
It doesn't look like this is obviously going to be a quick fix. We all knew that, of course. You're trying to put the proper pieces behind him and keep it without, let's say, dysfunction junction as best as possible. And so by their sense of urgency, they nip this one in the bud. And they're just going to keep an eye on their prize, which is Connor Bedard, who's had a great start to the year.
Oh, yeah.
And just trying to keep him cleansed and the rest of the team around him as cleansed as possible. You talked about Vegas struggles. The big bad Bruins, the first 3-game losing streak in 2 years. The world is ending here. We knew they were a farce. What the hell's going on with our Vezina trophy winners, Ullmark and Swayman? Not only lose 2 in a row, well, last night, minus 250 against Columbus, and you and I have talked at length about Columbus. Columbus puts up a 5 spot against the hapless Bruins. Talk about Vegas. Talk about the Bruins.
So, I mean, look at the funny thing about these two teams is that they are next to each other. That I've been diving a lot more into the advanced numbers and those expected goal type of stats. So they're, I think, 11-12 or 12-13 power rated overall when you put all those stats together. But you look at their goaltenders, and as much as Aiden Hill's been good, and obviously the duo in Boston were playing very well, I think that in hockey, when you're looking at these numbers and you want to handicap them, you got to either look at, okay, this guy's playing above his means, I should keep on betting on him, or this team's playing above their means, when is it going to crash? And I think what's happened now is that Aiden Hill has started to come back down to earth a little bit. And the fact of the matter is, the expected goal numbers for both the Bruins and the Golden Knights were a hell of a lot lower than the actual results were they were putting out, Jeff. And it's really started to come back to earth. And so some of these players that were scoring goals deeper in the lineup aren't scoring as much. The power plays aren't clicking as much. And the funny thing is, for both these clubs, I'd say, maybe the Bruins, a couple of bad games defensively, but I would argue that right now, defense isn't even their biggest issue. Would you say? I mean, offensively, last night, I've never, I don't get upset about plays too much because we are in action at almost every night, right? It's what we do. Vegas 1-0 the entire game. I said, I really want an insurance goal. I had Vegas on the money line. Overtime was fine with me. Calgary ties it up. I knew the second that game went to overtime, Calgary was coming out on top. And it's a lesson for people handicapping hockey because it's a very high and low type of sport. Like, you should not feel uncomfortable to be backing the same team multiple times. You should not feel, like you're trying to, keep it too simple if you want to bet on the same team 3 or 4 games in a row. If you think they're going to win 3 out of 4 games, and what's happening right now is that the Boston Bruins and the Vegas Golden Knights are coming down to earth. And when you look at a team like Edmonton, I told you when I ran through those numbers last week on your show, you gave me the opportunity to look at them. They weren't even bottom 10 as far as the expected goals allowed. So all they needed was like average goaltending to start having good games because they're top 2 right now in all the advanced metrics. The Kings and the Oilers, according to all the hockey nerds, are supposed to be the best teams in the league. And now that's leveling out for them. So here we are, the quarter of the way through the season, and we're starting to see some regression for some of those teams. But I tell you, a lot of people got smoked yesterday in the NHL. I'm happy I only had the one play. It was upset city last night, and Columbus. I wasn't even impressed, Jeff, with the fact that they put up 5 goals yesterday. It was more so the fact that their defense only allowed a handful as well.
Yeah, and they gave you the carrot. Bruins team total over 3.5 minus 35 cents. I mean, it looked like an easy. Well, I'll take the Bruins to get to 4 before I would lay the 260 or something. And even in that, the 7 in some shops with Ottawa and Florida. Again, I have Florida team total on the desk, but in my mind, Ottawa, same thing. You could have had, plus 125 on Ottawa to get to 4, and it was the Panthers that came out and dominated. So as you said, we're at that quarter pole, and I think our job here, and I love the work that you do, obviously, but you're even digging deeper this year, and you're pulling out those stats, and I've been following them. Every time I see a Columbus game, and there's certain teams in my head, the St. Louis Blues and a few others, I am really crunching those numbers. And as I say that, we got a big slate here today. I know you only got a handful of minutes, so I don't, we got a bunch of people watching right now, Andrew. So I want you to give out some lanes, some pucks, some props, whatever you might have for this evening.
Well, I'll start with the team total, and I have some numbers here to go with it. I'm going to fade the Florida Panthers actually after an exciting win they had last night. They're sticking with Ontario, the province in Canada, so they're not traveling too much from Ottawa to Toronto. But point blank, when teams are traveling, 0 days rest. You try and look at really how they do in these situations. 4-12 last 16 games. The Florida Panthers. Second half of a back-to-back scenario. The Maple Leafs, they have won 5 games out of their last 10. They've gone 5-5. 4 of those 5 games, they've given us at least 5 goals. Now, Jeff, you've taught me a lot about how a lot of the times you want to bet the team over when it's plus money on the team totals, and I've been a lot more cautious on that, but I like the fact that you're getting a 130, 140 down to kind of a more of a 110, 115 price on the team total for the Maple Leafs. And there has been some series history towards the under between these clubs. I get it. But I talked about how I've looked a lot more at the analytical numbers. And when you look at the starting goaltender tonight for the Florida Panthers, I do not expect nearly as good of a performance as I saw last night. Anthony Stolarz, 0.917 save percentage on the season, Jeff. That is going to start to go away. He's had a really favorable matchup, so I think that one kind of simmers down a little bit. Looking at the Nashville Predators and Pittsburgh Penguins, the Predators are a team that I'm looking to go against right now, and people might say, well, you just said the NHL is a streaky sport, and I get it. They've won 5 straight, but I like the way this Pittsburgh Penguins team is coming together. I liked them at the start of the season, but I didn't really bet on them very much because I knew it would take time for them to get chemistry. They picked up Riley Smith. They pick up Erik Karlsson, several key players. And as everybody knows, it takes time. You see it in the NBA market. You see it in the NFL. It takes time to gather that chemistry. So I believe right now Pittsburgh is still an underachieving and underrated team in the market. And right now the Predators, I believe, are getting too much love in the betting space. Dallas Stars, I like them on the road tonight. They're 4-1 their last 5 games on the road. I think that in the NHL right now, Jeff, how much can we really take into home and away splits? Home ice advantage. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Look at the LA Kings. I thought they'd be a great team at home because they have the last change at home and they're so dominant at the center position. They have the best road record in the league. So I do think that the Dallas Stars get the job done. And how could we not take the Oilers tonight? Minus 148. Well, I don't like that price. So this is going to be the old first period special there. We're going to take the first period minus a half and the plus 145 price range there for the Oilers. But I'm just going to ride that streak of fading that Vegas Golden Knights team right now in their ice cold offense.
I'm looking at the numbers here. Anything that really pops out to me, again, some of my kryptonites, New Jersey Devils, at the top of the list right now. Nothing worse than having them Friday team total over three and no, I'm sorry. Put it this way: it was over 4.5. I think it was against Columbus. They were supposed to score 5 or more goals, and they lose the game outright 2-1. And then Saturday they score 7. So they're at the top of my, them and the Islanders are another one. So I'd stay away from there. I like where your eyes are
The
with
Islanders
Toronto.
are bothersome. I hate the Islanders,
Yeah.
man. You can't predict this team.
No. I like the Leafs tonight. I even to get to 4 at plus minus 103 there. The Hurricanes are another one of my fade teams for now. They're baiting me tonight. I can get the Hurricanes to get to 4 at plus 105. I can do everything in my power to stay away from that. Before I throw this back at you, I have to ask you this one. With everything that's going on in Chicago right now, what's your thoughts on Seattle tonight?
I think I want to look at them. I've said it a lot of times. This Seattle team, if you look through, let me pull up the numbers really quick. I want to make sure I'm not making this up because it's just out of my own head from what I've seen, but I have the numbers right here. Let's look at the numbers here for the Kraken. Oh, see, look, and this is why I'm happy. So they're 3-10 last 13 against a team with a losing record, but the total's gone over in 4 straight games against a team with a losing record. So they're being involved in high scoring games. They're playing down to their competition. But it seems to me like when they play teams that it's not really a big get up game. It's kind of a letdown situation. They're giving up goals, but also scoring goals themselves. Kraken are 4-1 the last 5 meetings, but I think if you're looking at that one, maybe just look towards the over, because if you look at Chicago right now, their offense actually hasn't been too bad for who they have on their team, Jeff. I've actually been kind of impressed. I know it sounds funny for a team that doesn't look like they're playing very well, but I've been kind of impressed. I had a question for you. You're the team totals guy, but this number to me, I don't know if it's enough to get me to the window here. I see all kinds of people. Everybody on social media right now wants to bet on the Minnesota Wild. It's the old theory, and it's because of the coach getting fired. And I said this to you on the show, and you'll remember this. The Edmonton Oilers got hot after their coach got fired, right? They're still hot. They beat Seattle twice. They beat the Islanders. They beat like one other team, and now everyone says the Oilers are back. It's my least favorite thing about when a coach gets fired. They miraculously have a very easy schedule, and then everyone says they're back. The Blues are a team we've talked about their defensive struggles. They're minus 120 for the over. I'm seeing at DraftKings 3.5 goals.
Wild team total over 3.5.
I think it's a play.
The scroll has been going the whole time, Andrew. Anyone watching and listen, we thank you. Please go over on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it today, to McInnis Picks. Find all of Andrew's work at WagerTalk Sports Mayflower. Jump over to YouTube and please subscribe for free to Mayflower Sports. Andrew, tell them what you got at your desk at the WagerTalk.
Look, Jeff, we always preach long-term packages, but today I'm actually not going to do that. We've got one best bet up in hockey. Hit a big one over the weekend with the Vancouver Canucks. Got a 5% top-rated play today. You can use the promo code BIGBET15. I just got this earlier today. BIGBET15 takes $15 off, and it's been an up-and-down season. There's no denying it, but the big plays have gone well, so we'll try and keep it going at least. If there's one play I can ask to hit, one category, it's the big ones, right? And if you're not gonna be flat betting, I'd rather be winning the big ones than the smaller ones. So join me on that. And I apologize, Jeff, for the shorter show, but thank you as always for having me, and hopefully we can get some.
No, that was all on me, as Andrew has to head off to another show at 3:45 or 4:45 his time. Myself and Andrew will be back on his channel on Thursday at 1 o'clock. Otherwise, at 4:30, Riley Magnuson and the closing bell. So for myself, Jeff Dawson at DC Sports Invest, the one and only Andrew McInnis and McInnis Picks and WagerTalk. Wish everyone a blessed afternoon, and we will see you soon.